Hey everyone, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Alright, today we're going to review this smart lock. Now I've been going through my house and changing out all of the exterior doors to smart locks. I have the house complete. I've now been working on actually the outbuildings. So this one's going to go in my barn and control access there. Right now I just have a standard dumb lock and it only has the handle, the knob one. It doesn't have a deadbolt, and that's exactly what this one is for. If you have a deadbolt, you don't actually want this one because it can't fit. Typically the deadbolt is right above your standard knob, and this one would hit it. So this is only for a lower security door, really, from that factor, unless you have a big space for your deadbolt. Now this has 6 different ways you can actually unlock or unlock the door, and some of those are remote, like through the app that they provide. It can also be connected to both Google and Alexa, so lots of neat features there that you can do with this. So we'll open it up, we'll show you what's in there, I will install it on my door, I will show you the different ways to actually open this lock, and then we'll of course see what I think about it after a little bit of time. Alright, so here's what comes in the box. You'll notice that the main unit, which is the one that would face outside where you're trying to unlock it from, has the lever straight up and down, and you need to decide if it's going to go to the right or to the left. So for me, mine's going to be a right open swing door, so I'm going to put this lever over there. That is important. Some other locks that I've had actually only make their handle in a sided state, so meaning it only comes in either right hand or left hand. You can't convert it. This one allows you to convert it if you follow the instructions. So first step is to put the lock in the orientation that I want it to be, and then on the inside it obviously needs to go the other way, so it needs to go to the left. To do that, you have to actually take the screw out from inside here, and I'm going to go ahead and do that since I know that which way my door is supposed to be set up. Alright, and then both sides come with a rubber seal that goes up against the door to help keep water from getting in, and they have little holders that actually snap into the metal plate here so that it stays lined up once you bolt it up. And this is a IP65 rated, so it can be placed outdoors. It's weather resistant. Water, dust, that kind of stuff should not affect it if it's installed properly on the surface. So same thing for this guy. It has the rubber seal for the outdoor unit as well. Then you got a little power cable that goes through the hole and gets battery power from the inside unit. Now this unit also comes with a gateway. The reason you need a gateway is the unit itself only has Bluetooth communication, and so you can use your phone or your tablet to directly connect to the lock without needing a gateway, but then you're only Bluetooth, so it's not really remote because it means you got to be within like 15 or 30 feet of the unit to actually lock and unlock it. If you want to unlock it from home or use one of the services like Google, then you need to actually have a gateway, and this one has Wi-Fi built in and basically is your little bridge so that your phone can talk to the gateway, and then the gateway would be within Bluetooth range of the lock at your house, and it would actually send those commands back and forth there for you. So that's one of the ways you can connect to it. Like I said, is directly to it or directly through the gateway. And then there are the good old-fashioned keys that you can actually put in. That actually goes in right through here. You have to pop this cover off. It's a little bit difficult. It's definitely not designed to be like that unless you left that cover off all the time. That's where the key goes. They also include these NFC, which is near field communication cards. And so these little cards you can have on your keychain, or you can give it to employees or guests, and they're able to go right up to it and tap it, and that will actually unlock it. So that's a pretty slick way. You don't have to give them a passcode or give them access to your app or anything like that. You just give them a little key card there, and that's a clean way to do that. And then of course there is a keypad on here that you can type in a code, and it takes like 100 codes or something that you can store in there, so plenty of codes for all your needs. And then it also has a fingerprint reader here that you can press your fingerprint on it and that will unlock it. So lots of options there, which is kind of neat. Alright, and then of course it has the latch that actually goes inside the door itself, and you can slide it back and forth here depending on what your back set is. So this covers majority of the US for their back set. The other thing that they have in here is this little, they call it a square pole, but I guess that's just poor English, but alright, so here is the little connector, and this is the piece that goes from the outside lever to the inside lever, and it connects the handles together, right? So that's like the locking mechanism. And so it has a little bitty pin on there that needs to go in there and fall into a hole that's in here. So to do that, you get it pushed in, and then you're able to slide this rod all the way in. And then you can click it in, and now you cannot pull this lever back out. And that's what you need to do to actually complete the unit. You can kind of verify that here that it acts correctly, because you can see that it is able to rotate that fully around. Alright, and then they have some instructions in here. They also have a template here if you need to drill a new door. I obviously don't. I'm taking the old one off. They give you a little instruction manual here for the gateway to tell you how to set that up in the app. That's important. Then they give you a black and white instruction manual here. It's actually fairly detailed. It goes through step by step of how to add codes, add fingerprints, do the install. So it is actually the full instruction manuals, which is actually rare nowadays. Most time I get a QR code kind of like this, and it says, hey, go use the app or go online and look at instructions. This actually has it written down, which will come in handy because I'm back in the barn and I'll have something right at my fingertips to actually look at. So let's go install it real fast and see how it does. Alright, so here is the door that has the old school lock on there, and this is where this new one will go. Alright, the only tool I really need is a screwdriver. I obviously have a power one here to make the work a little bit quicker, but let's just zip this one off and then we'll install the new one. Alright, so there's the old one. I got some carpenter bees or carpenter ants or something in there eating some of the interior of the door, but it's still holding up. Alright, so first thing first, I adjusted this to be the deeper back set. Now I just slide it in and I attach it with the screws. Alright, so the main unit on the outside connects through the door to this unit on the inside, and this unit here is attached to these longer screws, and then the inside plate has attachments for the interior unit, so you'll do that second after you secure it with just the plate. Okay, so you want to get it kind of all lined up so that these things are all straight where you like them, both the inside and outside, and then you tighten this down. I'll make sure that this lock still works here. Alright, for the indoor unit, you do need to plug in the connector here before you get too far. And then you're supposed to tuck the wire back in here so it has a little bit of room to go. You don't want to pinch it, obviously. Then you line it up and you'll see that you can see the attachments that go right here. There's 3 of them, 2 at the top and 1 at the bottom. Alright, so now it's secured and I put batteries in it and I can start the pairing. Alright, so this piece is actually held in with magnets there. They're actually quite strong. This is obviously has a piece of metal in there, and it tucks in and does actually come out by hand reasonably easily to put the key in and unlock it. Now you can see obviously there it is locked. Take the key and put it in and turn it 90 and leave it there. Now it's unlocked and it opens up, and then I can leave it locked there. You can't leave it unlocked from what I can tell. It's either with a key at least, you have to turn it 90, and that just makes it unlocked. And then to take it out, you have to effectively relock the lock unless you electronically unlock it. So we can slide this in there and leave that nice and clean. And then you can come up here. The NFC cards are already programmed when they come with it. So you literally just take them and touch them. It wakes it up. You touch it again, and then now it's awake and it stays unlocked there for several seconds until you open the door. And then I think the master code is 1 2 3 4 5 6 by default. Yep. And then so you enter the code and hit the bottom right, which is the little check marks, and that unlocks it for you. But now we download the app and install it. It's going to have us change that master password, and then we can also set it up for all the other codes. Okay, so now I have the app and it is set up. I'm going to click add, and I'll tell it I got a door lock here, and then it says touch anything to activate the lock. Looks like it found it there. Okay, so now it says that it's successfully paired with it. Now I can assign a name to it. Okay, so here are the options. Now I can obviously press and hold this to unlock. Okay, so there we go, unlocked, and then it gave me a push notification that the door was unlocked as well. So you can obviously set up those settings in there. Let's go in here to just look at some of these settings. Oh, that's kind of neat. So you can import locks. So if you have this brand already or this app already with other locks, you could import all of them all at once. So that seems like a pretty handy thing to do. All right, so the basics is just the basics: the lock, serial number, MAC address, that kind of stuff. The wireless keypad and door sensor are things that I don't have. If you had a separate wireless keypad, you could add those here. But here we have remote lock and unlock. By default, it is turned off, but I do want this feature to turn on. And you have to do this by connected directly to the lock itself. But I need that in order to have the gateway be able to unlock remotely as well. Auto lock here will show you that there are different time settings that you can have. I'm going to make it actually quite long just for fun here. Alright, so I'm going to go to custom and see what it lets me do here. So I can maybe type in, yes, the number of seconds. I'm going to have it be a while. So 60 seconds is a minute. Alright, so I'm going to enter 1200, which should be 20 minutes there. So let's see if it lets me save that. Okay, so it says it can do 900, so I'll do 900, so I think that's 15 minutes. Okay, so passage mode will allow it to stay unlocked until you lock it. So that if you did not want it to auto lock all the time, you can obviously leave it in that passage mode. Okay, lock sound, you can change how loud it is when it beeps at you. Tamper alert, you can have it actually give you a tamper alert if someone were to mess with it. Privacy lock, this one will allow it to only allow a key or admin to actually open the door. So this would allow any of the non-admin or non-master users to not unlock it for whatever reason. Reset button, if it's active or not. Obviously, if you want to prevent like a business employee from resetting it, you can turn that feature on, and then that would allow the reset, or sorry, turn it off, and then the reset button would not work. Lock clock here. This is just making sure that it knows what time of day it is, so that it works properly with any kind of schedules. Let's see what this diagnosis is. This will allow you to upload the config to their servers to do root cause, so maybe that will help if there's some kind of issue there. Import the other lock like I mentioned. Alright, so now that's all connected. Let me hook up my gateway, and then that gateway is needed to connect to my Wi-Fi, so I can do some other features when I'm away from home and not have to be within 10 feet or something of this device. Alright, so let me go to the gateway here and hit the add button on the top right, And then I have the G2 gateway. And then we need to have the light be flashing alternately. I just plugged it in, so it should be doing that. But now I'm going to tell it to connect to my Wi-Fi. Alright, so let's go in here and have it find that Navigator B3. Make sure it's connected to that one. Alright, so now it shows that it is connected to it. And let's see if there's any updates for it. Alright, so here's the passcodes for the lock. Now I created mine obviously there, and it's a custom one that's permanent. But you can also go to generate passcodes at the bottom, and you can make a new permanent one, or you can do it that is only good for a certain time or certain days. You can do a one-time one that you can give to someone, and then it'll be used, and then it will be thrown away afterwards. Custom is what I did to make my own code. Looks like, it's 4 to 9 digits in length. A reoccurring one would be one that would be scheduled, time of day and even what day of the week as well. And then you can go ahead and erase them as well. Alright, and then if you need to add more cards or anything like that, you can do that here. Let's go in here and add a fingerprint. Alright, so it beeped at me, so let me put my finger on here. Try a couple different angles. Alright, there we go. So now it says it is saved. It's locked right now. Let's see what happens if I touch the... There we go. So it worked right away. So that's good. So now I can add a lot to those fingerprints. That was quick and easy. So far, I'm happy with it. We'll see how it does. Alright, like all the other locks I've done, this was pretty quick and easy to actually install. There's not a lot to it. And the app is actually, I'm actually pretty happy with it so far. It seems to be pretty intuitive. I did not even really look at the instructions at all. I just went through and messed with it myself. It seems to be quick, and I like a lot of the features they have. So now I'm going to look forward to testing it out and seeing how it does over time.